Welcome back to
We
Be
be
Zoomin.
We're working on it.
We're working on it. All right. Well, welcome back. We're glad to have you here. Another week of our podcast for Benedictine University Mesa. And of course, I'm one of your co-hosts, Rob Curtis, here with the wonderful
Jackie Woods, your other co-host.
I was trying to let you introduce yourself, but all right, yes, with the wonderful Jackie Woods.
Main co-host, however you want to say it.
Exactly. And today our special guest is our interim athletic director and head men's basketball coach, the one and only Frank Woodford. Frank, welcome to We Be Zoomin.
Thank you guys for having me. Looking forward to it.
Oh, you say that now, but all right. Well, you have been filling in the role as athletic director since Steve Schaefer moved on to his alma mater, and you've been doing it in a time of COVID, and kind of everything in the world went up, and so we thank you so much for the shepherding of the department that you've done. But tell us a little bit about the just kind of the status of the athletic department. I know we've got some new coaches on board. Some teams are playing, some aren't. So tell us a little bit about what's going on.
Yeah, it's been quite an unusual academic year in athletics. Obviously, the decision was made not to continue with athletics in the fall, which was the right decision. And so now we're looking at having, every single athletic season in the spring. So far, men's and women's basketball have begun competition. Men's and women's golf began this weekend. Baseball starts tomorrow. Men's and women's soccer start this week, and then we will have men's and women's volleyball starting a little bit later in February. So everyone is a go. Everyone is a go for this spring. It's just going to be really unique having everybody going at the same time. So it's been really fun. It's been challenging. COVID is definitely making the way we think about athletics very different. We have a lot of sports teams that are now conducting practices and even games masked and with no contact. In many sports, when you say no contact, how do you have a sport? And so a lot of our coaches have done a really good job with kind of changing the way some of them have done things for many, many years, but doing it in a COVID world. So that's probably been the most unique thing that we've had to do. I know for my program personally in basketball, we've been running practices with masks on and no contact. And so really our basketball practices are glorified shooting and conditioning, because we can't really do offense, defense, against each other. So I tease my guys a lot, or they tease me a lot, that we have a track team now on campus because they feel like all they do is run, but running is one thing you can do socially distanced. And so it's something we do to stay in shape. But it's been fun. It's been challenging, but it's been really unique to be able to work in so many different areas of the athletic department for sure.
Very good. And I know we have some new coaches. Who's joined our ranks as Benedictine coaches this year?
Yeah, so we've had one new addition, one new head coach, and that is Coach Taylor Stallman. He's our new men's volleyball coach. Our former coach Ray Lewis had an opportunity to go to a Division II school, NCAA Division II, which is a great opportunity for his career. And so we've been able to bring Coach Taylor Stallman in. Coach Stallman is an Arizona local. He has coached at Mesa Community College, Ottawa, another NAI institution in Surprise, as well as several local high schools. He actually knows a lot of the guys on the team from club volleyball and coaching against them in high school. So he's been a great addition. Really, really looking forward to Coach Stallman continuing the tradition we have in men's volleyball, which has been, to be one of the best programs in the country. And there's no reason why Coach Stallman can't continue that tradition.
Absolutely. I mean, as it stands, they've only had one official NAIA national champion. So
they are the defending national champions still, technically. Yes. So
yeah,
and we will take it.
I have a feeling if we would have gotten to play last year, they would have won it again. So
I think so. I do think so too. I think so too.
So technically, we're hoping for a two-peat this year. Technically,
the shirts will say repeat if it happens. I promise you that.
Yes, very good.
So obviously, you're now the head men's basketball coach. How exactly did you start with basketball? Like, where did you start playing basketball? Why did you start coaching basketball?
Oh man, do we have time? Do we have time for that? No, I mean, I grew up in a really, 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 really small town. And so we only had one little park area and all of us kids just went there and played basketball every single day, all day. And then it's just something that continued with me into college. Obviously basketball was something that was really passionate for me. And then I was like a lot of you seniors are, and I had no idea what I wanted to do after college. And I thought, you know what, the basketball thing's been going well, so maybe I can just keep doing that. No tryouts with the NBA happened, unfortunately. So I had an opportunity to be a graduate assistant, which means I earned my master's for free, but I coached for a team. So I was a graduate assistant, got my master's, and then from then I just continued within basketball, working at community colleges and big, large universities, and then ended up here at Benedictine.
Very cool.
That's
We're
very
excited to have you
interesting.
here. I know it's been fun working with you over these last few years, and looking
Crazy how
forward.
fast time goes. This is my already through my fourth year here. So
That is crazy. Wow.
Very disappointed to hear about no NBA tryouts, but
didn't happen.
it's okay.
Who knows? Maybe
I
you'll get
believe
there
in
as a
you.
coach.
Yeah, that's the goal.
There you
You
go.
never know. So as the men's head basketball coach, and I know last season you were assistant coach. So how do you really make that transition from assistant to head coach? Because it really is kind of a big jump a little bit.
Yeah, it is. I'm really lucky though, because Coach Schaefer allowed me to do a lot of things that most head coaches don't allow assistants to do. Like, him and I talked a lot about, he wanted to groom his assistants to be able to become head coaches. And a lot of coaches do that. They say that, but they don't really do it. Coach Schaefer allowed me to have a ton of control within basketball. I mean, a lot of the recruiting, a lot of the guys on the team were guys I recruited. A lot of things we did defensively and within practice and things like that, I had already been doing. So I do think that helped me a ton. And I would definitely not be as smooth of a transition as it has been if it weren't for Coach Schaefer and his structuring for his staff. So I owe a ton of credit to him for allowing me to do those things that a lot of assistants don't do. But I do think the quality of the kids we have, the ones that we brought in and have stayed in the program, we have a lot of guys that have a lot of respect and a lot of trust in what Coach Schaefer did. And they know that what Coach Schaefer and I did was something we did together. So they have a lot of trust in me. I owe a ton to the seniors. I have 6 seniors that, from day one, they have listened and done everything I've asked them to do. And so all of the other players had nothing. All they could do was trust me as well and buy in like our seniors did. So between Coach Schaefer and our seniors, I owe them a ton of credit for making it an easy transition.
It's gonna have to be so sad seeing them go.
Yeah, it's
Your
tough.
6 seniors.
Yeah, it's tough.
Very cool. Well, talking about, continuing about basketball, I know you guys have had to put your schedule together on the fly this year. And you've played several Division I opponents this year too. How has it been just approaching this for you as a coach and for the team, not really knowing where your schedule's headed, not necessarily being able to prepare for who you're playing, and just getting out there though and maintaining a level of success that you can try to maintain in it?
Yeah, my guys tease me a lot because I gave them a schedule August 31st. And we have yet to play a game that's on the exact day and time that was on that schedule. It really has been changing almost weekly. The best example would be, Grand Canyon University called me on a Thursday afternoon wanting to play Wednesday the next week. So less than a week's notice. And we had to get, 3 COVID tests done, all 24 hours apart, things like that. And so that's just a really good example of, I got a call Thursday at 3:00, I think. And all my guys then went and got tested Thursday night. We all got tested Saturday. We all got tested Monday. We played Wednesday. And none of that had been planned until Thursday afternoon. So I think my guys have gotten really accustomed to just expecting changes and challenges. And that's something we've been stressing as an entire department to all of our student athletes is this year, there's going to be challenges, there's going to be adversity, there's going to be a lot of hoops to jump through, but those willing to jump through hoops and not let adversity bring them down are going to be successful. And I do think that's why, even with such a challenging schedule, we have been successful because we understand and we embrace adversity.
And the CalPAC's doing something kind of different, right? With the season, isn't it cut in half? How is that going to work? And do you think with all this experience you've had playing not only the Division I schools, but some of the top teams in NAIA across the country, do you think that's going to help when you get into the CalPAC season?
No doubt. Absolutely. I mean, we've played the number 1 strength of schedule in the country for NAIA. We played number 1, 5, 7, 9, and 12 teams in the country. What the CalPAC is looking to do is we have several institutions within California that are in counties that are not allowing athletic competition. In order to still allow those student athletes and coaches to have some semblance of a season, we're going to be having a split basketball season, segment 1 and segment 2. Segment 1 is a February season that allows our conference to field a team in the national tournament. You have to have a completed conference season by March 1st. So there are 5 of us institutions that are going to be competing in segment 1 with a conference tournament March 1 and 2. The remainder of the CalPAC conference are going to play a March segment of 8 games that are essentially going to serve as a regular season. So it allows all the teams that have basketball to still participate in some capacity this fall, but it also allows our conference to have a representative at the national tournament the second week of March.
All right. So is that the goal at this point?
Yes, absolutely. We're one of 5 schools that are competing for a spot in the national tournament in March, and this is going to be a great opportunity for us this year.
Awesome. And we get to cheer on virtually.
Yes. No fans are allowed at any home competitions for any athletics this year. We will be streaming games, though. We'll have a social media presence as well. So it's going to be an opportunity for parents and fans to still see competitions, but while keeping our student athletes in a safe environment.
Very good. Very good.
That's definitely nice to hear that we still get somewhat of a season.
Yes.
That's what warms my heart the most.
And we have to be grateful because there are many institutions across the country that are not competing this spring. You know, we are one of the lucky ones to be competing.
All right. And then, looking ahead too, even as interim AD, do you have any goals or anything that you're looking forward to for the other teams that are playing this year, or for our student athletes? Anything that you're hoping to accomplish?
Yeah, I mean, like I talked about with our coaches at our last athletic staff meeting, a lot of teams have some very high goals going into this year. As we talked about, men's volleyball has an opportunity in national championship. There's no reason why that team should not still have that goal this year. Men's baseball is nationally ranked. There's no reason why they should not have the goal of making the College World Series. I think men's and women's soccer are each going to challenge for our conference championship. I think women's volleyball should be very excited for the season. A lot of our teams, I think men's golf has a chance to win their conference. So even with it being an abrupt or a shortened season, there still are many reasons for our teams to be very excited and still have the same goals they would have any other year.
That's awesome. Yeah, we're excited to be backing our Red Hawk teams. And as we've seen, sports has gotten with the professional sports in college, so it gives us a little bit of escape from everything going on. So we'll be excited to be tuning in to the webcasts and seeing what our Red Hawk teams can accomplish this year. All right, so we're going to put you on the hot seat, Coach Woodford. Or Jackie and I are just going to ask you a bunch of random questions, and we'll see how this goes.
We're just going to go back and forth. It'll go Rob, then me, Rob, me, and I know you're going to do great.
It was either this or the dad jokes, but
they clearly did so well with Kevin.
All right, here we go. I've got my answers already ready. So.
All right. So first question: favorite food?
Kevin Bacon.
Okay.
I guess if I ask favorite actor, is that going to be the same response?
Yes, it is. I was going to say Kevin Bacon, no matter what the question was. So.
Oh well, there you go. Okay.
Good to know.
So my question is actually going to be, who's your biggest sports hero?
Oh man, my biggest sports hero is probably when I was in high school. There was a rival kid a couple years older than me. His name was Mason Johnson. He ended up being diagnosed with cancer, and he came back and ended up being able to play as a senior. And it was a really, really cool thing to see him have to sit out for a year and deal with things he dealt with, and then to be able to come back and still compete as a senior was a really cool thing to see. And that was at a really impressionable time in my life when I was young. I just remember thinking, if that happened to me, there's no way I could have come back, and he was able to do it. So that has always been something I think about, is that somebody's always fighting something that you're not. There's always somebody out there that's persevering through something. And so why can't you? It's always something I tell myself.
Thank you for that.
What a story. So next one, favorite NBA team?
Oh, the Portland Trailblazers. I'm from Oregon. Yeah.
No. Lakers.
Oh.
Lakers.
Oh, no.
I've been
Okay.
yelling once. All right, next question.
Favorite sports film?
Oh man, probably semi-pro.
Oh, nice.
I'm a big
Nice.
Will Ferrell guy, so
Absolute classic. All right, my last one. Who's projected to win the Super Bowl this year? In your
man,
opinion?
I'm gonna go with the Chiefs.
Interesting.
All
Interesting.
right.
Not going for the seasoned veteran?
Seasoned is the right word when you're 72 years old still playing football, but now I'm gonna go with the Chiefs.
All right. And then who do you take in the NBA season?
I'm gonna go with the Lakers. LeBron. I do love LeBron.
Yeah.
My guy.
Which is what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
He's unbelievable.
Don't think the Suns are going to be a dark horse?
They can be a dark horse all they want, but they're not going to win a champion.
Well, being from Arizona, that's a difficult thing to do for our professional sports teams.
Yes, yeah, and
So.
they are much improved though. So kudos to their administration because they're definitely a much improved team. But the Lakers are just LeBron. He's really good at basketball.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. And he's going to be taking on some aliens coming up in Space Jam 2 too. So
I'm a little nervous about that, but I hope.
I'm so excited.
I'm a little nervous. I'm a little biased. Obviously, I grew up on the first one, so hopefully he does well.
Yeah, well, we'll see. We'll see. Well, Frank, the last thing we'd like to ask you is if there's any message of wisdom that you want to share with not just our student athletes, but really our students as a whole. We're going to give you the floor. See what you want to share.
Yeah, you're not going to get much wisdom from me. But one thing I have been stressing to my teams a lot is just to be able to handle adversity. If you think that things are going to be easy this spring or this year or COVID's going to disappear, then you're wrong, unfortunately. So just be able to control what you can control. And there are some things we can't control, and COVID, unfortunately, is one of those things. So what can you control? Your effort, your energy, your attitude. And if you can control those things, then you'll be successful this spring and further. So just take everything day by day and don't challenge things that you can't control.
All right. Well, thank you. We appreciate you being with us. We've been spending time with Coach Frank Woodford, our head men's basketball coach, interim AD, and really anything you want to ask of him, he is willing to help with because he loves this university so much. And we're so grateful, Frank, to have you a part of our institution.
Thank you.
I'm a part of our Red Hawk family.
Thank you.
Very thankful for you, even though you're not only the head men's basketball coach, but also the head bully of Benedictine.
That is true.
Personally.
That is true. With no Coach Schaefer, I guess it's got to be me now. So.
Oh.
And you have filled in those shoes.
Good.
We are so proud of you.
Thank you guys so much for having me on the show. I really enjoyed it.
Absolutely. Well, until next time, Jackie, we be
zooming. You tried. We be zooming.
Take care.